Key elements of a collective bargaining agreement for sports organizations. Introduction. Formulating effective and equitable collective bargaining agreements, CBAs, in the modern employment landscape is a necessary tool. It plays a key role in the relationship between employers and employees. In the context of a sports organization, there are performance and team dynamics for which the development of a CBA is significant. This will ensure a balance between management's responsibilities and employees' aspirations. It is worth outlining the complex structure of formulating fair collective agreements, which is capable of maintaining the organization's competitiveness, and, based on this, outlining all the essential elements of a sports organization. Mandatory versus permissive issues in a collective bargaining agreement. During the development of this project, it is essential to distinguish between mandatory and permissive issues within the CBA. Mandatory ones relate to employment conditions and are essential for protecting workers' rights. They include elements such as wages, working hours, and regulations on labor protection and benefits. These are fundamental tools for ensuring fair and equal treatment of personnel within the organization. Permissive issues do not have such sensitivity to fundamental labor relations. They are characterized by employee assistance programs, their participation in the decision-making process, and certain types of vacations. These issues are responsible for increasing employee satisfaction and well-being, but they are unnecessary to protect their rights. For example, establishing a fair wage structure is imperative to maintaining employee motivation and ensuring financial stability. Conversely, providing employee engagement programs and certain forms of leave while contributing to a positive work environment may not directly affect core aspects of employee rights. The right to organize and strike for public employees. The right to organize and strike is the driving force behind modern labor movements, which are usually aimed at protecting the interests and rights of workers in athletic organizations. This authority is fundamental and is given to public servants as a tool to introduce better working conditions, fair treatment, and improved employment circumstances. The implementation of these elements requires a balance with the broader public interest. This will ensure that essential services are not unduly disrupted. The implementation of permitted strikes must be within reasonable limits, and several reasons exist for the said balance. First, it should allow employees to participate in collective bargaining. Such actions ensure that problems such as stagnant wages, inadequate benefits, and excessive working hours are addressed. Without these rights, employees can struggle to challenge unfair labor practices or negotiate for improvements. In the specific case of a sports organization, the right to strike plays a key role in protecting the welfare and rights of athletes and support staff. Through it, they can jointly address issues such as ensuring fair compensation, fair treatment of training and competition schedules, and adequate provision of physical and mental well-being. Key issues in the new collective bargaining agreement. Assuming the CBA expires in 6 months, addressing several key issues early on is essential. Many of them require multifaceted consideration and resolution, such as wages. Establishing a fair and competitive structure for this element is essential for recognizing and rewarding employees. This can be awarded for various skills, efforts, or contributions to a project. Determining working hours is paramount to a conducive work environment. First, it prevents staff overloading and the performance of extra duties. Second, it promotes work-leisure balance and balances the demands of the athletic organization. For athletes, this is an essential component because if they are overloaded, they cannot perform their usual work. Outlining a comprehensive benefits package that includes healthcare, robust retirement plans, and vacation entitlements is essential to employees' overall well-being and morale. By carefully addressing all key issues within the new CBA, a sports organization can create a culture of respect and holistic support. Terms for mandatory subjects of bargaining. Hours. Most organizations follow a standard working week of 40 hours. They can be scheduled and include requirements for training, competition, and recovery periods. This will help organize all employees and direct their balanced energy in the right direction. Any hours worked above this standard threshold are considered overtime and should be compensated to instill a sense of importance and need in the staff. Salary. This should be established through a carefully structured minimum wage scale. Regular and transparent evaluation of work results should be the basis for assessment and determination of potential promotion. This will promote a culture of recognition and merit, motivating employees to work more productively. General conditions. Employment relationships, especially rights, are usually defined by laws, regulations, and collective agreements. It is a good idea to discuss the terms and conditions of employment in advance, which usually include provisions that promote inclusion and equal opportunities. Such an atmosphere will give everyone an understanding of equality and ensure a dignified environment among employees. Conditions of employment. State-of-the-art equipment, comprehensive training programs, and easily accessible resources are optimal for every organization to motivate employees. Grievance procedure and policy. A thorough and fair grievance process for both parties should ensure transparency and fairness in the work environment. For employees, the procedure for considering complaints includes 3 stages, the first of which is the informal resolution of the problem. Such an environment allows for solving the current issue, if it is not serious, and allows the employee to understand the management outside the formal methods. Subsequently, the victim can file a complaint, which can be considered within 10 days. This formal document must contain a clear description of the dispute, accompanied by clear evidence. The third step is to participate in arbitration, where an impartial party joins and tries to reach a fair decision. The procedure for considering complaints is similar for employers because they are all interconnected with employees' actions. First, they also participate in informal discussions, where they must show their respect and desire to resolve the conflict constructively. This would ensure understanding on the part of the worker and, in some cases, admitting their wrongdoing if that was the instance. The second step is to consider the formal complaint, which should be made quickly, professionally, and carefully. Subsequently, if both parties do not agree, the employer participates in the arbitration process and waits for the final decision. Conclusion. In conclusion, through the analysis of various factors, it was determined that a collective bargaining agreement for a sports organization should balance the organization's needs and employees' rights. By including mandatory and permissive issues while maintaining the right to organize and strike within reasonable limits, the new CBA can promote a harmonious and productive work environment. Addressing key issues and conditions and implementing a robust grievance procedure and policy also ensures stability and satisfaction for the organization's staff.